We're happy. We're chilling. It's beautiful out here. Oh, we're live?
You're live
We're
right
live now? We're live.
Oh, we're actually live.
Technology.
Hello.
You
Yeah.
got to love that. We're actually live with the head and the heart. Tyler and Kenny out at the 91X Flophouse in Coachella. Welcome.
Thanks for having
you.
us.
We are live. It's beautiful out here, huh?
Sure is. Look at this.
This is
Great
gorgeous.
spot for
Got
a
some carts,
michelada.
carts about to roll through.
Right. I was
Beautiful,
thinking we
beautiful
should
scene.
bring a bucket of balls and just start driving some balls out there and see
Why
who
not?
could get confused. Maybe go for a dip in the water hazard at
We're
some
going to
point.
confuse all these other golfers out here, actually. They're going to
That's
be like, what is going on?
Right.
We should
Which
get like
ball is
a
mine?
get an air horn and just mid swing.
Oh, yeah.
They would love that.
Happy Gilmore style?
Yeah. They would start blocking people.
Jackass!
You will not make this putt.
Noonan. Okay. Let's get on with this.
Yeah.
Signs of Light. Congratulations
Thank you.
on the album. Different process this time.
For sure.
Working with Jay Joyce, how much collaboration did you guys have in the production, or were you able to just kind of sit back, write, play, chill out, and kind of let him take the lead on that and be happy, or did you kind of get in there and collaborate to an extent?
I think it was kind of a mix of both. You know, there were moments when he would take the lead and kind of be like the coach and, you know, show us the path, you know, forward. But then there were a lot of times when he would just be like, you know, just let us kind of play and let us go at it. And his main thing was like, get the take quick. You know, you don't want to be doing like 80 or 100 takes of drums on one song. You know, try to get everybody done in like 5 takes, you know. And if you don't, then he's going to stop you and be like, all right, go take a break.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because is it because you start to psych yourself out, or you lose that first take?
You lose that
essence?
passion,
Kind
I
of,
think.
Yeah, you get in your head if you know you're everybody else is waiting on you too, or like
yeah.
something's not working. You start to get in your head, and then it doesn't sound as natural or as live or as energetic as you might want it to sound. But yeah, he was good at like making us take breaks when we needed to, and telling us that he was good at directing the whole experience. For
That's
sure.
essential guidance to have.
Yeah, we'd never had it
Studio.
before.
Yeah, and it took us a while too. I feel like at the beginning, because we had never worked with any producer, it was always
Right.
just us, and so it took us like a few weeks to accept that it was a good thing that
Oh,
he was
really?
like telling us what to do and like having suggestions, and we weren't taking it personally. And so the first few weeks were kind of rough for us, I think, because we just didn't know how to deal with it. And then we like got used to him, and we started to know each other, and it became natural. And then like the second half of the recording process was really great and awesome.
So that's
Yeah.
different, and you guys all came back from a break from different directions in your own space as well. So
That
you
was
were
very helpful. Yeah.
stepping into all of that, a completely unique experience.
Yeah, I think, you know, it was the first time that we had really taken time off, you know, after a record, you know, before that we, you know, went back into the studio. So to have that little time off, to have, you know, some kind of like life to live, you know, outside of the band and outside of the road. I think that's so important for creativity and for writing songs. You know, nobody wants to hear a song about like the road life, like some 80s power ballad
Over
about
and
the
over
road.
and over again.
Yeah, well, a lot of times that's what it gets to be, because it's
Totally.
so difficult for bands to take any time off,
And that's all you have. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
your life. So
and you, sometimes it's just not realistic financially, because you got to be out, you got to be working
Right.
every night of the week. I mean, it's show business. It's
Yeah.
not easy.
Well, that was kind of the nice thing about like jumping to Warner Brothers, you know, from Sub Pop. You know, it was just like a natural progression, and they gave us the budget to kind of, you know, make the record we wanted to make on our own terms. So I felt like we almost had more freedom because of that, you know.
yeah.
Did you guys have all that sorted out before you made the decision to take some time off, so you knew that you had a bit of space you could take? Or
We kind of
was
went
that-
into like the situation with the new label, like saying that, you know, we were like, we plan on taking a year
Oh,
off
cool.
to write, and they fully supported it. And you know, I think we always felt
Yeah, that
really
was like a
well taken care of.
stipulation. Was like, we'd like to sign with you, but know that we're not going to put out a record for a while.
Okay.
'Cause we need some time, and if we do put out a record soon, it won't be good because we're not ready to. You know.
Yeah. So was it more awareness of, look, this is going to be good for us creatively, and we're going to come back inspired with new material, or were you just thinking we need a break period, and then we'll just
Both.
hope that that's how
Well,
we
it's
come
both,
out of it?
you know.
yeah, it's like you need a break period because you haven't been home for most of the last 4 years before we took a break. And you know, you have relationships and family and friends that you're like missing out on, and they're growing older, and you know, so you need a break. But creatively also, you spend so much time together, you know, touring constantly. It's like it's just hard to write on the road sometimes when you're playing shows every single night.
You can
know?
feel when your like well is run dry of like creativity, when you can't tap that thing anymore, and you just need to take some time and like do your own thing and go to your own little happy spot.
And it worked. And now we know that it works. So it's like, cool. If we know that we've hit that spot, we'll take a break and we'll be fine.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. How long was it after you knew you hit that spot that you actually sat down and said, hey, we got to take a break? Because it's never the initial.
Oh, probably like a year.
Yeah.
Right? It's a long time coming.
Yeah. We didn't really take a break off after the first record. We kind of went straight into the studio for Let's Be Still. And so, it was 4 years of on the road, like Kenny said, and then we finally figured out what the hell we needed to do. So it worked out.
Yeah. At some point, you're like allowed to say no to things, and we realized that we said yes to everything for so long. And
pizza parties.
Yeah, we legitimately we played a pizza party.
High school classrooms.
Really?
Yeah, high school classrooms. Everything we were offered, we were like, yeah, sure. It'll help the band. It's great.
And it did, I think.
It did,
right? Because
for sure.
But you get to the point now where you can consciously know when to say no and be confident that that's okay.
And now it's like saying yes to everything might be more detrimental than good.
To your mental health.
You just need need a break.
But I bet it's still hard to say no to some stuff, right?
It is,
because
for sure.
you just you don't want to disappoint.
Well, especially now because we get really like badass opportunities sometimes now, and it sucks because sometimes you're like, this came up and it's so sweet, but like 2 of the band members have a vacation plan, and ugh.
It's like, hey, Kenny, you want to open for Paul Simon?
Yeah, that came up, and he's like one of my favorites of all time, and I had to be the guy that's like, I can't, because I am gonna be in Thailand, and like it's already booked.
Mental health.
Oh, it's already,
mental health.
So it was you're the reason that you guys didn't open up.
Oh,
for Paul
come on!
Simon.
Don't do that to him. Don't do
No,
that. To
it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. Thank God. Others in the band that had like a wedding that weekend. It wasn't just me.
Okay,
'cause
good.
he really is like my top, like number 2 of all time. I love him to death.
I mean, I'm giving you a hard time. I assumed it wasn't just you, because if it was just you, you'd have canceled and opened.
I know, but it's tough. It's one of those things too. It's like you have like a trip planned with like your loved ones, and like it's like like Liar Liar, the film with Jim Carrey. It's like he's the dad that's always like not making the baseball
Deep
games,
reference.
and like you have to just be there. And we're gonna have cool opportunities come up, and if you're missing out on one of them, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Until it is.
Until Paul Simon hates you for not playing the show.
But I don't think that. Did you speak to Paul Simon? You're like, hey,
No.
look, man, I got this.
No, it was like it was just like an email, like, hey, and it's actually too like, gosh, now we're gonna get into it. I'm like, this is what I've told
Is this
myself.
a
Is
can of
why it's not a
worms?
big deal. Yeah, no, it's like it was like a festival in Milwaukee, right? Summerfest.
Yeah, Summerfest.
And like the headliner is like in its own separate kind of venue. So there's a bunch of other bands, but like the headliner plays in like this amphitheater, and it was Paul Simon, and we were gonna be before him. So I kept saying like, well, it's like a festival setting, so like it's not really like we're opening for him. It's kind of just like tonight we're opening for Lady Gaga, or tomorrow night. You could say that, even though we're not.
I see.
That's what I'm telling myself to make it like
good.
less
That's
painful.
good. I'll go with that. Tell yourself that, because I want it to be less painful for you.
Yes, thanks.
Because Paul Simon, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But we digress.
For sure.
I mean, it would be a killer. Never mind. We won't get into that anymore. It's just the head and the heart.
Let's keep this going.
There's there's positivity in your guys' music and your performance, and I think that it's a good fit. So I mean, don't be surprised if he comes back around and says, "Hey, look, I'm putting this tour together."
That's what Kenny's waiting for.
Even better. He's like,
Paul
guys,
Simon. Hey, if you're
Paul,
out there, if you're watching this, Paul.
Oh, Paul's watching
I'm
this.
sure you are.
Paul follows us on Facebook, so Paul,
For sure.
Heard
He's an avid social media guy.
Really?
No.
media.
Media. He's the
best.
Yeah. He's an
All right.
influencer.
All right, I just I'm stoked for you guys. The new album, I think it's killer that you found that space and came back with so much positivity. And it sounds like the band is healthier and happier than ever.
Definitely, yeah.
You can
Feel
hear
good.
that, and it's I mean, I'm sure there's great things to come. Paul Simon, he might be opening for you next time. He might be opening for you on this next time around.
I couldn't do that.
Or be on a track. We'll see. The Head and the Heart. We're out here at the 91X Flophouse in Coachella. I don't know which camera to look at, but I know we're live, so it's one or the other. You guys are playing tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Open them up for Lady Gaga.
We're opening
That's
for Lady Gaga
massive.
tomorrow
Yeah.
night. Can't wait.
We heard a rumor too that maybe Metallica will be there.
See, I mean, I wanted to draw the line at the Paul Simon thing because I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, but let's not seriously start any rumors. Let's just put some
trying to start
hard
rumors.
decisions to rest and not start rumors.
People love rumors, though.
The album by Fleetwood Mac is what we're talking
Exactly. It's 91X.